Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. My name's David and I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but we are in the final stage of the Terminator challenge. All we've got to do is the resistance characters, so let's get to it. There are plenty of quotes in the movies about how time is the enemy, and it's got to be said it is not on my side. As of recording this, I have 4 full days in which to complete the challenge for the resistance fighters. Now, in typical David fashion, I am setting myself a mountain to climb because I'm not doing just 4 miniatures. I am going to be completing all of the miniatures that I have ever purchased that come with the game, plus a couple of extras. Let's have a quick look at what's going to be done. There are some pluses. I already have 1 miniature complete out of the 4 that are needed. This is a Reese from the future miniature that came in with the boxed game, and I completed him as part of the challenge of doing the Terminator Infiltrators because it was all the same colour scheme and it was just sensible to do him at the same time. Now, while I had the Project Z female survivor sprues out doing the T1000s for the last challenge, I also took the opportunity to make another couple of miniatures that could be used for this part. I already have an Emilia miniature from the Genisys set, but let's face it, the iconic Sarah Connor really is Linda Hamilton. So this is one of the Project Z survivors. I've given her one of the heads with the iconic shades. She's got an assault rifle, she's got a pistol, and I've spruced her up a little bit by adding some hand grenades from the Games WKD sprue because, hey, let's face it, Sarah Connor's always going to be packing some heat. She is that good. As for the other female miniature, we're stepping across into a little talked about part of the Terminator universe, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Female Terminator, T900 model, Cameron. I've used one of the female survivors, sculpted on longer hair because that's part of her signature look, and I've also done an arm swap because we want something a bit better than just a pair of pistols. This one's armed with a submachine gun because at some stage, realistically, I wanted the chance to fire an Uzi 9mm. And these are the last miniatures that I am going to be doing because it is essentially the only miniatures that I have left to do that were purchased with the game. What have I got? There's the Emilia model. There is a Reese model. This is the 1984 set. Another T1000, this one in police officer uniform. 3 police officers, and the last of the character ones that I am going to be doing is Pops. You cannot have a Terminator game without having an Arnie miniature. As you can see, I've already had a go at starting these. This was a couple of years back, and these miniatures gave me an awful lot of problems. I must have been using a real rubbish batch of super glue, and the as you can see, the basing material has all fallen off. You won't be able to see it, but the undercoat that I used came out very granular, so I'm going to have to scrub that back and give them a repaint. To reinforce the arm joints, I am going to be using this stuff, which is Tamiya putty. This is the same stuff that I used for smoothing out the funny face on the big Terminator machine miniature. And the hardest part, one mistake that I did do was on the Pops miniature, and that is I didn't realise that he actually had damage to the face from the movie, showing the Terminator endoskeleton underneath. I actually thought it was a bad mould and started trying to sort of smooth it down as if it was flash, and then I realised that I'd made a mistake, so I am again going to have to use the Tamiya putty to try and build that back up and re-sculpt half of the face on it. So I had best get on with things. Okay, into day 2. Let's have a quick recap of where we are at. All of the miniatures have been scrubbed back and in most cases have been rebased. So all of that grittiness on the paint has been removed. I'm happy with that. They're going to be going for another undercoat. I still haven't done the resculpting on Pops as of yet. But 5 of the miniatures have had the painting started on them. Now, all of the ones that were in police uniform plus Cameron have very dark clothes, so they went off and had a black undercoat. It is easier to build up those dark colours from a black undercoat than it is from a grey. Mixed results. The Cameron miniature, I am very happy with the results of. Now that was a black undercoat, a grey highlight and then a black wash over the top, and it has come out, and you'll see it in the photos later on, with very subtle highlighting because it is supposed to be black clothing that she's wearing. That's the way that I always do black. The police uniforms, however, were very different. Now I was hoping to do these with black undercoat, grey highlights and then a dark blue wash over the top. Unfortunately that didn't work and it's all turned out, well, really blue, so I am going to have to repaint these. I'll do a quick blue highlight and then a black wash over the top, and hopefully that'll darken it down so that it's that sort of blacky blue uniform. So I will get those repainted and get the wash drying and then probably get onto sculpting Pops. Mid-evening check-in and David has been a busy boy. Let's see what the state of play is with the painting first of all. T1000 complete. Cameron is done and dusted. You will see close-up photos of those later on in the video. The police officers are all done. So, of the 9 miniatures that I had to do, 5 are done and out of the way. And we've now got 2 completed character miniatures. Technically speaking, 3, because from those police officers, with the size of force that we are creating, we are allowed to advance one of those up to either a sergeant or a captain. We're doing well. So, final 4. Where are we at? Yes, I have done the sculpting or resculpting of the face on Pops. Hopefully that is going to be okay. And they are all based and undercoated and at the stage where I would be saying these are now miniatures ready to paint. So I will crack on with these and check on either last thing tonight or first thing tomorrow. Day 3 check-in. How am I doing? Not too bad actually. The 3 of the miniatures are very close to completion. Kyle realistically just has to have a little bit of detail. All of them need the skin tones on. Same for Pops and the younger Sarah Connor. I'll move those to the side. But one thing that I am not happy about is this older Sarah Connor miniature, and it is more to do with the look of it. I'm perfectly happy with the body and clothes and the equipment and all of that, but looking back at the reference material, there is something just wrong about the hairstyle. So I am going to take a little bit of time out to redo this. Now, if it turns out that this makes me overtime just on this miniature, that is fine, because I have got enough there that I can complete for the challenge, so that is all good. But this lady needs a haircut. And in exactly the same way that I did with the Cameron miniature, we are going to redo the hair. And I'm getting that out of the way now, purely so that it has the opportunity to dry. And it's only a small amount that I need. I don't want too much in the way of wastage. Sounds of kittens playing in the background. It's a good job they're not trying to help about that. Alright. Hopefully you're going to be able to hear the commentary over the sound of kittens playing with toys. Alright, and it is probably just a small amount that I am going to need. Let's see. Even that may be too much. Go on there. Smooth it down. And then just using a very fine point, just working that hair texture. Yeah, I need a wee bit more just around the fringe. Yeah, I'm far happier with that. Just lift that back a little bit. Yeah, that is far more what I was looking for. Okay, that can be left to set properly, and I will get on with painting the rest of those and come back to this one later on. Late afternoon update, and Pops, Kyle and Sarah the Younger are all complete. So that is counting as challenge done. However, I still want Sarah the Older to be done before I post this video, and just checking on that piece of test milliput that was left over from where I did her hair. It's obviously not cured yet, so I will give that a little bit longer before I get on to painting her. I will use the time to catch up on the video editing so that I can post this before the deadline. I'll get Sarah the Older all painted up, then we'll be on to photos, and I'll have a natter with you at the end. And less than 6 hours after filming the last segment, we got a message from Resistance High Command. Skynet is not going to be activating tomorrow. It is indeed delayed by a month. So I didn't need to worry. I've got all the time in the world. In fact, quite possibly that makes this a deleted timeline. Chances are it serves me right for having two Sarah Connors. It's not a good thing to mess about with, crossing your own timeline and that sort of thing. Anyway, about this challenge. This, for a number of reasons, has been my favourite part of the challenge, it's got to be said. First of all, I have finished all of the miniatures that I ever had for the game, and that is a big monkey off my back. They've been sitting there on the pile of opportunity for absolutely ages and daring me to do something with them, and this has been just the impetus that I needed to get them out of the way. They're all done, which is brilliant. The second is that older Sarah Connor miniature that I redid halfway through. That is now one of my favourite miniatures. There is just something about it. I love it. Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not it's the fact that everybody else in that set was wearing black clothes, and you know, suddenly I could do something a little bit different, like put jeans and a t-shirt on her and a leather jacket. It was. I really enjoyed putting it together, re-sculpting the hair and the colour scheme, and I think it looks absolutely brilliant. I'm really pleased with that one. But that is the Terminator Slow Grow Force Creation Challenge out of the way. Unless in the alternate timeline my spider tank arrives and I can get that built up. But assuming that's not going to be the case, then it is back to terrain for me, and the next build that I have is one that I have been looking forward to doing with you guys for absolutely ages. The next thing we're going to be doing is ruined buildings, because they are a big part of post-apocalyptic scenery. So let's get on with those. If you have enjoyed this, please do hit that subscribe button. It all helps grow the channel and get more people involved in the hobby. Until next time, I'll see you.